Now, on Shaheen's deck, of course, you'd expect some Planeswalkers and a lot of removal. He's got 4 copies of Liliana the Last Hope. And on the removal side, 4 Grasp of Darkness, 1 Murder, 2 To the Slaughter, a Ruinous Path, a Transgress. He is ready to remove some creatures.
Big fan of To the Slaughter in this format. It's a card that hasn't seen a ton of play to this point. It's kind of been on and off, and I like it as a main deck card right now. It answers one or both of the combo cards.
Spirebluff Canal to start for Jace. Of course, clad in blue, as you would expect from the Planeswalker. He'll start with some mana. Now, there is a lot of removal in Shaheen's deck, and chance that it's not going to be very live this game. Not too many things to kill in Jace's deck. Shaheen will play a copy of Grim Flayer. Jace will anticipate.
These removal spells, you know, Murder, Grasp of Darkness, these can all stop the combo from happening, assuming that Shaheen's able to leave mana up. And he's got his clock, so the pressure is on Jace to stop the Grim Flayer right now.
I guess the mention that To the Slaughter is still pretty good here. It does remove Planeswalkers.
Jace with 2 copies of Shock in his deck. He would certainly like to have one of those right now.
3rd land here from Jace. He had picked up a Stasis Snare for the turn, but you notice that he only has 1 white mana source, so he just has to pass back to Shaheen. An attack, will the Grim Flayer connect? We'll find out. Looks like no, it's going to be Shock from Jace Sweeney. He had the option of playing Saheeli Rai that turn, opted not to. So in response to the Shock, Shaheen's going to go for Grapple with the Past. It's unlikely that this will save his creature, and it doesn't. And in fact, it really doesn't. Shaheen punished hard here.
Oh, wow.
He did not flip over a creature or a land, so Grim Flayer just dies.
Yeah, so there's a couple things happening here. For Jace, I kind of would like on his own turn casting the Shock in case Shaheen is casting Blossoming Defense. If you know enough about Shaheen, you assume that that card is just like
never playing Blossoming Defense.
It's just nowhere near his deck. That's fine. For Shaheen, though, I would much rather be grappling to get the Grim Flayer back instead of rolling the dice to save it.
Yeah, and you see he got punished pretty big there. So Jace on his turn casts Saheeli Rai, pluses her to scry 1, then plays land, says go. He's got Saheeli Rai on an empty board, which means he's threatening the combo next turn.
Yep. So if Shaheen has a To the Slaughter, he can deal with that right now. He also has a Ruinous Path in his main deck.
And this is the scary part. You see Shaheen's going to go for another grapple. Is that, you know, Shaheen, if he wants to respect the combo, would have to leave up so much mana every turn of the game. And he probably just can't. He gets back Grim Flayer, plays 2, and no respect. He'll play Grim Flayer and says, all right, if you got it, kill me if you're going to kill me.
You can't just do nothing. You know, I like the play here.
Yeah, I don't think he can start leaving up Grasp this early. You see Jace has a copy of Nahiri in his hand. If Shaheen was leaving up mana, Jace would just keep making more Planeswalkers.
Yeah, and the thing about Saheeli as a standalone card, if you're not pressuring your opponent at all, then Jace gets to be scrying a bunch. He can put, you know, try to find the combo. So you just want to be proactive in this spot. Even if he has some way to interact with the combo, Jace doesn't have to go for it right away. If Shaheen leaves up mana, that's fine. Jace leaves up mana too. Just scries with the Saheeli, finds combo plus dispel backup, what have you.
Land. Saheeli scries a card to the bottom. Land 5's Evolving Wilds from Jace. He still has Stasis Snare in hand. It looks like he had the option of holding up Stasis Snare or casting the Nahiri, and it looks like he went for Stasis Snare. Last card, Glimmer of Genius, actually, so a lot of options. Vessel of Nascency from Shaheen. He's already got creature, instant, sorcery in his graveyard, so if he sacrifices this Vessel, the Flayer will become a 4/4.
And I do like chipping in at the Saheeli for 4 on this turn. That would take Jace off of combo, and he's at 20 life still, so Shaheen's not going to be able to actually close the game in short order. Just turning off the combo potential makes sense.
And he'll attack with Grim Flayer. Now, if you hit the Saheeli with Grim Flayer, that does mean that
he won't get
the trigger.
Right.
And no blocks. Shaheen will crack the Vessel, and now we get to see whether or not Jace. He has 2 options, right? He can Stasis Snare the Grim Flayer and keep Saheeli really healthy at 5. Or he can let Saheeli go to 1 and then Glimmer and maybe find the combo. Looks like he's going to pick Stasis Snare.
Yeah, I suppose if he draws Guardian, he just gets to blink Saheeli and combo no matter
doesn't
what
matter
the
that she's a
loyalty
1.
is. Yeah. So Shaheen's plan has to be to actually fully kill the Saheeli.
Yeah. Shaheen picks Liliana off the vessel, and then Stasis Snare takes care of Grimflayer. The more conservative line from Jace keeps Saheeli at 5.
And, assume that Jace has plans for these mana. He plans for this mana. He has scryed some cards to the bottom. Of course, cracking Evolving Wild, shuffle those back in. So you now have those draws live. You saw Saheeli Rai was the bottom card of his deck. He described that to the bottom. But Evolving Wilds doesn't ever get you a land untapped, so you just kind of have to crack it.
Shaheen, 4 cards in hand. Liliana and Ishkana, so he's got a lot of threats. We still don't know if he has any way to interact with the Felidar Guardian if it happens. He's leaving up Grasp mana now.
Jace has 2 main deck negates and 1 main deck dispel. So he has the possibility to combo with some kind of backup in the next 1 or 2 turns.
Jace's draw is a Torrential Gearhulk. And a plus with Saheeli to scry.
Looks like he's going to be stuck on 5 lands.
Yeah, and this is interesting, right? He can Glimmer Nahiri or play Nahiri here. Great to get a Planeswalker on the board. Glimmer would find him that 6th land to give him a great target for Gearhulk, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything that he wants to discard to the Nahiri, but just putting Nahiri on 6, discarding nothing, and just hanging out with 2 Planeswalkers isn't a bad spot.
Yeah, remember Nahiri can, if she gets to 8, can -8 to just find the Felidar Guardian.
Right. And if the Saheeli is not around, it can also just find another Gearhulk.
Yeah, and that's great, too. We'll see where Jace goes. Is it the draw spell or the Planeswalker? It's the Planeswalker. Nahiri the Harbinger. I'm not sure. I'll be interested to see if Jace wants to discard anything here. Looks like no.
Yeah, I would keep both of these cards. They're great. Gearhulk and Glimmer. There's some argument to just, discarding Glimmer, flashing it back with the Gearhulk, but you can do both things.
Yeah, we don't need to go that fast.
Yeah.
Grapple from Shaheen gives him a lot of options in the graveyard. It gives him, he could have had Ishkana or Mindrak Demon, but he chooses Grimflayer. He's got to get some pressure on that Nahiri. These 2 Planeswalkers together can just assemble a combo.
Yep. Not to mention that Nahiri is really good at dealing with creatures that are attacking Planeswalkers.
Yeah. Here's Ishkana the Graph Widow from Shaheen Soorani and a tap land. He'll get 3 spiders. He is shields down once again to the Felidar Guardian. He has really not had an answer for that all game.
And Shaheen has 2 Hissing Quagmires now, but they just don't put on enough pressure.
Yeah, he's got to get Nahiri off 8.
Yeah, exactly. It just pluses 2 every turn. There's 2 Planeswalkers on 6 loyalty.
Another blue Gearhulk for Jace. That's probably too much.
You can never have enough Gearhulks.
Saheeli will scry. She goes up to 7.
So now if there is a land on the top of the deck and he keeps it there, I do kind of like discarding the Glimmer and then getting that and just Gearhulking this turn now that there is an Ishkana he has to deal with.
Shaheen's going to read the ultimate on Saheeli. She finds 3 artifacts with different names. That's something this deck can't really capitalize on.
Right. He could go find a Torrential Gearhulk, but that is actually the only find.
And he only plays 2 when they're in his hand.
Yeah. So, yeah, Shaheen, of course, doesn't know that, but the ceiling on this card is finding 1 Torrential Gearhulk. Currently, it just does nothing.
Yeah, so plus from Nahiri, discards a Gearhulk, and then draws a land. Ugh. So if you knew that that top card was a Plains, you think you would have discarded the Glimmer instead?
Yeah, I would have discarded Glimmer.
I mean, that looks great right now.
He must have a plan to flashback one of the spells in his graveyard. His Shock doesn't look terribly exciting to me, but I assume that's what we're going to see.
Anticipate's okay.
It's much worse than Glimmer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
If he had 8 lands in play, or 7 pushing 8, he would then be able to cast Glimmer and Felidar Guardian on the same turn.
Sure.
It starts to make a little bit more sense to keep that card in your hand. Currently, I think that was the card that I would have discarded.
Yeah, because you probably are going to play the Gearhulk here. And that means neither of your Gearhulks would have ended up hitting a Glimmer. And Glimmer's kind of the card you want to get off your Gearhulks.
Yes. I frequently find myself in spots where I'm fighting a counter war and I cast a Gearhulk with a counter spell in my graveyard.
And you just pick Glimmer?
It resolves and I just okay, I'm going to Glimmer.
It's a pretty good card drawer.
It is above average.
Yeah. All right, Shaheen, 7 mana up. Does not use any of the creature lands. He's got to divide this damage. It is all at Nahiri. In hand, he's got Liliana, Grim Flayer. We know those two. The third one's a mystery to both. It could, a kill spell would be, I think, what he's hoping for. I mean, Jace he has a Gear Hulk in hand. That's pretty good here.
I'd expect to see a Gear Hulk in an attempt to block.
Yeah, right? Blocking Ishkana. You could get a free block on Ishkana, a free Anticipate.
Of course, the Nahiri isn't dying, and even casting the Gear Hulk won't stop it from going below 8 loyalty. So there's some argument for just hanging out, but he's just not doing anything then.
So here's Blue Gear Hulk. Torrential Gear Hulk will be cast to see if Shaheen has a response. He has that third card that we don't know about yet. Targets Anticipate. Casts Anticipate for free.
That could have been a Glimmer.
Still good as an Anticipate, and I think he found a Felidar Guardian. Yeah, he did. Well, I would take that one.
Yes.
That's the combo. Great. Great. Sure. Can he block yet? Yes, he can. Ishkana's getting blocked by the Torrential Gear Hulk.
Checks out. It's a good block.
We know both players know there's a Liliana in Shaheen's hand, but that's not enough to finish off the job. So blocks the Spider Queen. She dies. Nahiri goes to 5. Yeah, this looks like this is out of control for Shaheen. He'll go Grim Flayer. Cast Liliana. These are the cards that both players knew about. There's still that third mystery card in Shaheen's hand.
And something about making this block here, it's kind of a check for Grasp of Darkness, because Jace threatens to take over the game just by having Gear Hulk. So it's likely that Shaheen would cast Grasp to kill the Gear Hulk in combat there if he had it.
Draw is Anticipate from Jace Sweeney.
Yeah, I'd just go for the combo here. He doesn't really stand to lose anything.
Well, there's another side of this. He might not have to.
I mean,
like,
sure.
Gear Hulk attacking Liliana, then, like Gear Hulk attacks Liliana, Felidar Guardian, blinks Gear Hulk. Like, these are lines that might win also.
Yeah, it's so stressful to be in the tank every turn. Just take the combo kill, take the pressure off.
Like main phase Anticipate, then attack Gear Hulk at Liliana, then use Guardian, flicker Gear Hulk, cast the Anticipate. Like,
I mean, yes.
Like, this is, like, I bet that wins too.
That's really sweet, but I'm going to bet that the player that did not discard Glimmer and Torrential Gear Hulk for Anticipate is looking to combo kill.
This is why I'm bad at these decks. I always go for the combo, but I'm saying this other line, like, I think it's I bet the savvy player doesn't combo here.
Well, he just found it negate off of his Anticipate.
So now I'm really into just combo killing with negate back up.
Yeah, I think we'll see a combo kill next turn.
Yeah, and he has 4 mana for Glimmer, right? So he could just hang back, Glimmer this turn, the next turn have combo plus negate. This all seems pretty solid.
Not bad.
Maybe Guardian could maybe Sleely Rye could copy the Gear Hulk and make a hasted. Yeah, let's do that. Extra Gear Hulk. Beautiful. I like that.
This one also could have been a Glimmer. Just toss
it doesn't need to be anymore, Ryan. It's just fine.
Have you cast a Glimmer of Genius?
Yeah.
Have you cast
we
Glimmer of Genius?
We already won. We have the combo plus negate. There's no. We got this. Anticipate for free. There's a 5/6 Torrential Gear Hulk copy in play, so he'll get the top 3. Hey, there's a Glimmer. See, look, we can have more. He takes Harness Lightning. Doesn't even need the cards. So a haste 5/6 in play.
I would attack with that one.
That one's gonna go away at the end of the turn, so seems good.
I would attack Liliana with that one.
Well, if he attacks Shaheen, I bet he's taking it.
Yeah.
Seems possible. Yeah, getting Liliana with it seems great.
Not that the Liliana matters. I'm pretty sure Jace just has this game totally rolled up.
Here's the 5/6 will attack Liliana. Shaheen can either bin the Planeswalker or the Grim Flayer.
Yeah, whatever. Chump blocking a token that is exiling at end of combat feels bad, but the Liliana is likely better value than the Grim Flayer.
Gotta lose one of the 2 cards. You're right. So Grim Flayer is down. He protects Liliana for a turn. And here he pluses up to 7 with no discard. That's always what you want to see. We'll have a 4-card hand plus no discard. Your go.
He's plus that twice without discarding cards.
Shaheen will -2 the Liliana, getting back an Ishkana. He's been dead to the combo for a long time. He's trying to just present a good clock. He'll cast another Graph Widow. This 5/6 has just been a brick wall.
How is Shaheen not playing blue cards in this format?
I don't know. I think he's and white and black ones too.
Look how good these blue cards are.
3 more spiders. The first 3 will attack. It looks like Saheeli Rai. This doesn't matter. It's not. Saheeli's not dead.
If I was
And Shaheen is.
If I was Jace, I would just show the Guardian and the Negate in my hand and pack it up.
That's rude. That's rude. You gotta. I mean, you could. Yeah.
Why? You're just wasting time with this combat.
Glimmer. Okay, sure.
I like this too.
Sure.
This is
I
great.
need. Here's more cards I don't even need. I already. But I'll take them.
Get that energy reservoir.
What are we? You know, you had the situation. Oh, well, how about a dispel, just in case. Just in case.
Yeah, we'll just draw both of these.
Oh, the 7th land, so now I get to play Guardian with double counter spell backup.
That's fine. That's not bad.
Can Shaheen's 1-card hand beat that? I don't think so. I'd have to, right? I get two counter spells is good. All right, here's. Wait. You shouldn't tap all blue man. Jace, come on now. Don't be. For the record, we didn't leave up enough blue to cast all those counter spells, but we didn't even need the first one. The combo will work, and game 1 goes to Jace Sweeney.
These blue cards are so good.
Yeah.
And Shaheen's casting 0 of them.
Now, that's an interesting game. So I'm going to go out and say, even if Jace did not have the combo in his deck, I think he wins that game. He could win it by just valuing.
Yeah,
right.
I assume that he would have played a little bit differently if he wasn't in that combo deck. He certainly would have maximized on those Glimmers and Gear Hulks. But yeah, he could have certainly won the game that way.
Yeah, just like flash Glimmer, Gear Hulk the Glimmer, kill, maybe cast a Fumigate, something like that. Strong stuff here from the control player. He's up 1-0.
They're both control players, for the
One
record.
of them's named Jace. All right, looking at the sideboard, starting on Jace Sweeney's side, he's got 2 Negates, 2 Dispels. Looks like he had some of those in the main as well. 3 copies of Fevered Visions, 2 Chandra Torch of Defiance, 2 Radiant Flames, a Decommission, a Fragmentize, another Fumigate, that would be the 3rd copy, and then 1 copy of Authority of the Councils.
So here's a fun song and dance for the Just Guy Saheeli combo deck. Is he going to have the combo in his deck game too? I don't know. I'd probably board it out against this deck that probably has a bunch of Grasp of Darkness, and then you just have Torrential Gear Hulk in your deck, and you just cast Fever Visions, and they just take 100 damage, and they just have nothing but removal spells in their hand.
So if you thought your opponent was on the Snake version, the Brennan DeCandio version of this deck, would you want to board in Fever Visions? That guy's kind of aggressive.
Right. It's not good in that matchup.
Well, does Jace know he's not playing that matchup? I guess he saw Ishkana,
right.
And maybe he knows Shaheen's player profile.
He cast Grapple, he cast Ishkana. He has a lot of stuff that DeCandio didn't have. I would like to just board out at least a number of the combo cards and bring in Fever Visions. Probably Negate as well. That seems great. The extra Fumigate because Shaheen's on Ishkanas. That seems great.
All right, for Shaheen's side, yeah, he's going to have some stuff for the combo, but fortunately he does. His sideboard, a lot of one-ups. He's got a Tireless Tracker, World Breaker, Appetite for the Natural, Fatal Push, 2 Natural State, a Kalidas, a Lost Legacy, an Obnixilis, a Transgress, 2 Pick the Brain, and 3 Yaheni's Expertise.
So all of this discard stuff, Pick the Brain, Transgress the Mind, Lost Legacy, these are all great here. You can check for the combo with Lost Legacy. Of course, you're still going to be in trouble if Jace is just playing a Torrential Gear Hulk strategy.
Right.
But you probably
Transgress is good there, though, right?
Yes, Transgress is going to be good no matter what. Pick the Brain is going to be good one way or the other. The Lost Legacy, you're kind of rolling the dice, but I think you bring it in either way.
I like Tireless Tracker and World Breaker. I actually like a lot of Shaheen's sideboard for this matchup.
Yeah, he just wants to go a little bit bigger. He has to keep up with these controlling elements. So it'll be interesting to see how much removal Shaheen's actually leaving in. He definitely has it on his radar that Jace could and probably will be boarding out at least some of the combo.
All right, players are going to get ready for the second game here. Now, over at Star City Games, we've been running Game Night for just about a year now. And not just us running it, but stores all around the country are as well. So you get exclusive pins and tokens just for playing in the tournaments you normally would be playing in. So for January, we've been giving away a copy of, well, speaking of combo decks, we have the Squeaky Cheeky Acorn Breaker, this adorable little goblin, which likes to make copies of other creatures. You're winning that one this month. Next month, we will be giving away the Corgi Firewalker. You know, a dog soldier, not really a fan of the red decks.
So dogs are man's best friend, and Core Firewalker is a jerk. I think this is a little bit of a miss on the flavor.
Have you seen the one for March yet?
I have,
like it.
and it's great.
All right, so we have our favorite delve spell. This is Pig Through Time, the 2/2 boar token.
So
This is,
obviously these are plays on cards, but what I really wish that the Pig Through Time was, you know the image of humans evolving. It's like the man walking and progressing towards humanity. I would rather that Pig Through Time was the evolution of pigs.
That was just like what started a pig and then just keep being a pig.
Or just like pictures of pigs in historical events.
I do like this is, kind of like a pig shaman, right? It's like kind of, it's got like this vaguely like Egyptian look.
Yeah, I would just like, raising the flag at Normandy and just like a pig
pigs.
hanging out in the back,
The pig history textbook, if you would.
George Washington crossing the river with just like a pig.
Some pigs crossing the Delaware.
Just a pig swimming in the Delaware. The water's fine.
Shaheen Soorani, known to be playing Esper, the teacher from the Norfolk, Virginia area. 9 open top 8s with a win. I think the most impressive thing here, 5 invitational top 8s, and I think 10 Esper decks is what that is. Really interesting guy, sports car enthusiast. He's a history teacher. Speaking of Pig Through Time,
Shaheen would
I
love
think
this.
he'd love this. You should pitch it to him.
I'm going to pitch it.
Yeah. It's like say great constitution stats as well. It's never just immune.
So I had a really good pun. We transitioned past it, but the pig in the water. I said the water is fine, and then what I was going to say next is the water is swine.
Oh wow!
Because there's pigs in it.
See, now I got these like colonial pig textbooks. You got like a pig with a cherry tree. With like the hatchet.
Exactly. There's just so many
pigs. The pig can't tell a lie.
I'm gonna find somebody who's really good with the Photoshop. One of my business partners. He does this kind of thing. I'm gonna get this done. This seems important.
Both players going to 6 cards here. Jace was actually on a 6-card hand last game, but really did not punish him.
Yeah, I mean,
just not at all.
He ended the game with more cards in hand than Shaheen and just better cards.
I think what's interesting is watching that game and trying to figure out just like, so Saheeli Rai saw no play before Felidar Guardian because it doesn't do much.
Mm-hmm.
And then you watch that game and you kind of say, did Saheeli do a lot that game? And it's generating a lot of pressure in the form of you got to watch out for things. All right, like if I have a Saheeli Rai, you have to watch out for my Felidar Guardian. Maybe you don't play some spells because of it. It's kind of subtle here.
If you turned the Saheeli into a Fumigate, I think that Jace is still very easily winning that game, just with value with Torrential Gearhulks. But it does alter the way that Shaheen has to play. Of course, Shaheen didn't find himself getting caught leaving mana up every turn. He played as if Jace didn't have it because he couldn't beat the combo anyway.
Right.
So in that game, Jace did win with the combo, but I still feel like the combo in his deck brought the overall quality of the deck down.
You had to play 2 cards that didn't do too much.
Yeah.
He had to scry 1 every turn. That was
right.
The 1 damage didn't matter. Copying Blue Gearhulk was great.
If Saheeli Rai was just an enchantment with that text box, it's just scry 1 and it's like Curse of
it's like no one ever played
Pierced Heart.
No one ever played Thassa in a control deck.
Right. So I just don't think that the card is playable even as an enchantment.
I suppose not no one, but it wasn't good.
It's only because it's a combo,
Yeah, if it didn't have the interaction, you wouldn't be playing it.
Right.
All right, 6 cards each. Shaheen is on the play here for game number 2. Let's start by trading some lands. Jace's hand looks like a grip full of Anticipates, which you always like, but it's slow.
He does only have 2 lands, it looks like, and his second land is Prairie Stream, so he's going to be... It's very likely that he's main phasing Anticipate on his 3rd turn looking for a land. Even still, though, that is the power, the flexibility of Anticipate. That's why you play that card.
You just draw a basic land this next turn, and then it's fine.
Yeah, that's a good play.
Grim Flare from Shaheen. Okay, now we need to draw that basic land.
Like a Shock? We got a Shock? No.
Oh, Shock and tap land was great. I'd take that. All right, first step, tap land. No Shock. Back to Shaheen.
Jace did mulligan, but looks like his hand is not really coming together the way he wants it to.
Traverse the Ulvenwald for Shaheen. Gets a basic forest. Now, keep in mind, though, there is a copy of a Fumigate in Jace's hand. So, yeah, he's going to take some damage. Shaheen will set up some good draws. Jace can recover. He's got some heavy hitters here.
Yes. If he's able to make land drops and just curve up to 5 and cast Fumigate, it's going to undo whatever Shaheen is up to.
You see, Shaheen's careful to traverse before that Grim Flayer connects.
Because he wants to stack the top of his deck.
Yep. The old fetch land plus Serum Visions is just good sequencing.
Yeah. Land and sorcery in his graveyard. Can he get it up to 4 this turn? Here's a sorcery and a creature. It's Ishkana, so no, not yet. It's only still going to be a 2/2.
Yeah.
And he'll play a second Grim Flayer. Say go. This is... If Jace is a slow hand, this isn't what he wanted to see.
No. Ooh, and not a land off the top.
Now draws Felidar Guardian.
I'm expecting to see Anticipate for a land drop in the main phase here.
Yeah, he's got to keep hitting these land drops, right?
Yep.
And that's what he'll do, Anticipate. Okay, there is a land. There's a Saheeli Rai as well. I don't know if he already has a Saheeli in hand.
You just can't take that card.
Yeah, I know. You'd like to.
He's only comboing if he gets to 6 lands and rolls it up in 1 turn.
So the idea is like turn 5 Fumigate, turn 6 combo.
Right.
I'm down for that. Plays says go. He's got a Planeswalker already in his hand. Now that might be a Nahiri.
Nahiri is a lot better than Saheeli here.
Shaheen's going to keep going forward. Traverse again for a basic swamp. He's got a Transgress the Mind in his hand, and that's worrying for Jace's side because it means Shaheen can pick off a card like that Fumigate.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, it looks like he has Felidar Guardian in hand. I might concede to this Transgress just to disguise how I've been sideboarding.
Well, we'll keep playing. 2 Planeswalkers, but they are Chandra and Nahiri. So he has Chandra and Nahiri. I talked about that handful of Anticipates. Anticipates number 2 and 3, Felidar Guardian and Fumigate. If he hits untapped land this turn, it's good no matter what. He probably wants to keep playing just because that out exists, I would think.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying with the disguising, but right, he's an untapped land here from actually being okay.
Yeah, I suppose, the Grim Flayers are still off of Delirium for this turn.
Yeah, Shaheen takes Nahiri out of the equation. Swings with both creatures. Gonna put Jace to 14.
And, there is definitely the question of how much removals in Shaheen's deck post sideboard here.
Okay, bins a Grim Flayer, some lands. We're still only on 3 card types.
Just tossed all 3 in the bin.
There's an instant in here in Grapple and Grasp, so Shaheen can make his creatures 4/4s now. And with that Grasp, what I'm interested in is whether or not Shaheen already has the combo covered.
Shaheen has a To the Slaughter in hand, it appears.
Okay, that does cover it.
So I would not want to draw Grasp of Darkness.
Oh, To the Slaughter is so good against the combo. You get both parts.
Yeah, he's going to have Delirium once he has an instant in his graveyard.
Grasp is binned. It looks like Shaheen will keep the other ones. One of them was I think Land was the top card, and then maybe a Grapple.
And if you're drawing Grapple, kind of doesn't matter whether or not you leave the other one on top.
Jace's draw of the turn was not Land 4. It was Blue Gear Hulk.
That's the opposite of a land. The most expensive spell in your deck is the opposite of a land.
It's not good. So he's got to, anticipate for a basic and then hope to anticipate again.
Yep.
Well, this is the best turn he's looking at.
That's all he's got, and Shaheen knows it as well, as he transgressed last turn. Ooh,
No, he finds it. He got it. He got a basic island. All right. This plays. Probably sad to see that negate go.
Yeah.
No time for such things. So land might second anticipate here. He'll say go. He can do that on end step. But those Grim Flayers are now 4/4s, so Jace will go to 6 on this attack. Shaheen, though, remember, he knows about Fumigate. He
Yep.
knows that Jace has another Anticipate in hand. He should expect Fumigate.
Right, and Jace already has 2 white sources on the battlefield. It's just any untapped land.
In the top 4 cards.
He has 2 basics as well, so anything like a Prairie Stream plays here. The only thing he's really missing on are Wandering Fumarole, Evolving Wilds, Spire Bluff Canal.
A swing for 8 will put Jace to 6. Shaheen's going to keep manipulating the top of his deck. Milled 2 and kept 1 on the first ones.
Yeah, and Shaheen has lethal attackers on the following turn, so definitely no reason to commit any more pressure.
He's had such good card selection here. Now he will have to play the game from here on out, respecting the combo until he gets another discard spell. He's got the To the Slaughter, so he has the card, he just has to use the mana. I guess what our first check is here is, will Jace get to cast Fumigate? We think so, but he's just got to do it.
Yeah. He either fumigates or there's not much more magic to be played.
I mean, Shaheen's binning cards like Tireless Tracker. It's always a bad sign for Jeskai player. But no land from Soorani. Anticipate from Jace Sweeney. Finds a land. I think it's Spire Bluff Canal. That does not play. Yeah.
That does not play.
So he's got to pick between Canal, Saheeli Rai, and his second Fumigate. It's a tough call.
So currently, I don't believe
he only has single red. Yeah.
I don't believe he has a way to
not die.
Shaheen took the Nahiri out of his hand. He can play Felidar Guardian, but Shaheen has that rolled up with the to the Slaughter in his hand.
Yeah.
So you can't just like take the land and hope he has another draw step. I would be like leaning towards just taking the Fumigate in case you need another Fumigate.
Yeah, I'm also into the Saheeli. A draw is a Wandering Fumarole from Jace, so he did not find an untapped land in his top 4. I guess the question now is whether he can stay alive. His hand is Chandra, Fumigate, Felidar Guardian, Gear Hulk, and 2 tapped lands. I don't. He plays Fumarole. I don't think he can do anything here.
No.
Felidar Guardian.
I would to the Slaughter in response to this trigger here. Don't want to get dispelled. There we go.
To the Slaughter in game 2 for Shaheen.
And that's kind of a bit of an unfortunate mulligan. Jace had 2 lands that entered the battlefield tapped.
Well,
had to anticipate for a 3rd land.
It seems to me like that it matched up really wrong. Both players on a mull to 6, and Jace's hand was 2 lands, triple anticipate, which is on the draw is like really slow but fine. It's a keep. Then Shaheen's draw on the play is double Grimflayer. That's just about the last thing Jace wants to see.
Right.
It's the fastest draw from Shaheen's deck. It's a draw that actually, against a more functional hand from Jace, say he has like a shock.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah, shock would be huge. Stasis, Snare, Harness, Lightning. He has a good number of removal spells.
If Jace has something like 2 kill spells, Glimmer, 3 lands, he'd been very well positioned there.
I don't think that this is a terribly good matchup for Radiant Flames. I don't expect that they're in Sweeney's deck, but he had a really good window for one.
Yeah, going back to looking at their sideboards, it looks like Chandra, Torch of Defiance has come in from Jace's side. So that, and I would expect he's playing the 3rd Fumigate now as well. So it seems like he believes this to be a board control matchup.
Yes. Yeah, Shaheen has a lot of spot removal, and the sideboard plan revolves largely around making that not effective.
Now, on Shaheen's side, how do you feel about a card like Worldbreaker? It's really expensive. Is it in the deck right now?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I thought I would be looking at that game.
Going into game 3 when you know that Jace left the combo in there, I would definitely not want Worldbreaker. You
just want like another just don't cut a kill spell for it, sort of thing. I think that's right.
Don't cut a creature either.
No, those Grim Flares are really important. Like, I don't know if Shaheen can always expect that they will stick like they did in that game. He got to aggro Jace out that game, and that seems to me like something that won't happen as often. He'll have to actually control the board more frequently.
If Jace had a functional hand that had an early removal spell or just an untapped 5th land, it's a very different game.
So we have a 3rd game coming up. Players have 16 minutes to finish it. Over at StarCityGames.com, we have our weekly sale that we run every week, it turns out. But we have a different product on sale every week at a great price. So for this week, we have been doing Kaladesh boxes for just $80, $79.99, not even $80, and more sealed product and gaming supplies on sale. So that's running all the way through this weekend. So make sure to pick those up this weekend, and then check back at the store Monday at 10:59 Eastern to see next week's sale.
Keep up on these sales. You get some really good deals. I'm always scouring things when the moderately played foil sale comes around.
Yes.
One thing about Star City Games is they are very harsh when it comes to grading. So when they say moderately played, it's going to be the same as lightly played or maybe even near mid.
Harsh on grading means good for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's very good for the buyer.
Yeah, I have taken to that too. I love getting moderately played there. They're great.
Yep. Got a lot of stuff for my foil popper cube off of those sales.
Jace, will he keep a 7-card hand? Hasn't done it yet. Not going to do it this time. 3 6s, but Shaheen's joining him on the mulligan again.
If you're named Jace, I assume that pretty big into scrying. So the more you
mulligan,
mulligan,
that makes sense.
It's just a free scry. You know, Shaheen's not playing any blue cards this weekend, so he gets to scry as well.
One of the difficulties about the Jeskai control decks is really, what I see is that outside of Glimmer of Genius, they don't actually have that much real card advantage.
That's
you
true.
know, in this matchup, sometimes the black-green deck actually wins the war on cards. Like, Tireless Tracker, that guy draws extra cards.
That's factual. Yeah, you got to kill that one on sight.
Well, even if you do, they usually get a clue off it, right? So
yeah.
It's interesting in that I wonder sometimes whether or not I feel like Shaheen can actually take a control role in this matchup, because the late game, I don't think the Jeskai player gets to necessarily play like he'll always win the late game.
Right. You know, when you're on the draw and your curve starts at 2, it's often quite difficult to assume the beatdown. So if Shaheen can't take that controlling role, it's kind of bad news for him. And he has stuff in his sideboard that allows him to play that role. He has all these discard spells. The pick the brain in particular can really do a number on Jace. It also allows Shaheen access to the information of how likely he is to get comboed.
Yeah, I mean, even Grimflayer, that's Shaheen's aggro card, right? That has a lot of deck manipulation in it.
Mm-hmm.
Both players having kept a 6.
And the Grim player is always good at pressuring planeswalkers. And so he just kind of gets to have that card and plays kind of an aggressive / controlling role. His cards are quite flexible.
Grimflayer is really powerful. Now, the fact that people are playing Shock, I think, has really hurt the card.
Mm-hmm. It hurts the card on turn 2. It's good for the card on turn 4.
Yeah. Both players scrying to the bottom, underway for our 3rd deciding game. Jace has lands this time. Not many. I guess they'll come into play untapped too. At that, he's Prairie Stream into Spire Bluff Canal. He's got Negate, Harnessed Lightning, and it looks like Nahiri in the opener.
That is a good opening hand.
Yeah, and then the rest are lands. I'm pretty into it.
If Shaheen is just casting Grimflayer,
kill it.
Not going to be great here. If Shaheen has a couple discard spells,
a Transgress on the Nahiri would be pretty rough.
I assume that Jace snaps off Negate on the first discard spell.
Yeah, he doesn't want to lose the Walker here.
Right.
And Shaheen's big build-up is for, it looks like he has a copy of Mindrack Demon in his hand. And first play is from Shaheen. It's an end-step grapple. Transgress, Grasp, Land flipped in the graveyard. So Shaheen's getting a land. Could have Swamp or Evolving Wilds. He'll take the Wilds. That smells like a Tireless Tracker to me.
Yeah, Tireless Tracker or some need for the 2nd green mana. Likely Tireless Tracker. He's not exactly heavy on double green spells. It would basically need to be casting 2 spells in the same turn.
He's got to decide if he wants to play Tracker here. If he has no other plays, it's pretty tempting to just run out Tracker. But if he loses it, then that stinks. Looks like he has a lot of lands, a Tracker and a Demon. Yeah, big choice if you just play out the 3-2. It's probably dead if you do, but if your other play is nothing, if it's between Tracker and Go, Shaheen just says Go.
You can expect that the game is going to go long, especially if Jace has a removal spell for the Tracker. And the Tracker doesn't apply enough pressure to make it end quickly, even if Jace doesn't have a removal spell. I like sitting here.
Well, Jace will get to be on the board first. He has the untapped land and now has his choice of 4-mana planeswalkers. Both Chandra and Nahiri are in his hand.
The thing about Chandra is it threatens the ability to combo on the following turn because it generates mana. So I like.
You could go up to 6. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. And he's going to do that. He'll play Chandra. Plus, flip the top card. It's a Fumigate. Shaheen takes 2. I like that a lot. You're right.
It's got a 9-turn clock too.
Yeah, so Shaheen will play Tireless Tracker, and there's the Evolving Wilds he got. So this is what he was setting up for. He'll get 2 clues, but you're absolutely right. Jace could just combo him.
Yep.
The Chandra makes 2 mana.
And it can also just kill this untapped creature.
Yeah, this situation is tough for Shaheen, actually. Jace, either he loses to a combo. More likely is he loses his tracker and Jace plays a Nahiri, but I don't like that line either from Shaheen's side.
Yeah.
Looks like Jace's hand is a couple Harnessed Lightnings. He's in a plus to make mana. Cast Nahiri. Nahiri will plus to discard.
Or not. Thinking about whether or not he wants this 5th land, this Harness Lightning.
Spire Bluff Canal's gone. He'll draw. Chooses to. I think he draws Fumarole, so kind of the same thing. Or actually just draws Canal. Okay, plays 1. Yeah, and then Harness Lightning will take care of Tireless Tracker. Okay.
So Jace's deck is not great at generating energy. So I like keeping the Chandra around with high loyalty in case he runs into a Mind Rack Demon, because he can.
Oh, because then he can. That's so good.
Minus and then add a removal spell.
Yes, because we were thinking he might kill the Tireless Tracker with the Chandra, but doing it this way, yeah, this might be better.
Yeah.
There's clues in play, but for Shaheen, yeah, it'll just be Mind Rack Demon, mill 4. This is a tough situation for Soorani. He's finding himself behind on the board, and he's got more cards eventually, but these Planeswalkers they're sticking around a little longer, I think, than he'd want. And Saheeli Rai, the draw for Jace, that is a huge concern for Shaheen.
Yes. It'll allow Jace to start scrying, and then he'll just be a Felidar Guardian away from a combo kill.
Well, you'd mentioned the double burn spell on Mind Rack Demon, right?
Yep.
Then Nahiri goes up to 8. Next turn, if he has land 6, he can just go get Felidar Guardian with that negate in hand. I'd be surprised if Shaheen can stop the combo through a negate.
Well, he doesn't even need a land.
Because Chandra pluses.
Yeah. Nahiri puts the Guardian into play.
Oh, yeah, you don't even have to. You don't even have to cast it. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's great. So 4 damage to the demon. Finish it off with the Harness Lightning. And you mentioned that's exactly why he played the turn the way he did, because now he gets to hold up negate here.
Yep.
In case, say, there's a ruinous path. Just make sure he pluses that Nahiri before he does.
I would not discard anything.
No, if your 2 cards are negate plus Saheeli, I'm into that. He's just going to cast Saheeli.
Sure. It does leave him vulnerable to ruinous path.
Yeah. Saheeli scries. There's a Dispel that goes to the bottom. Gross.
Not casting it means he can't combo through Transgress plus removal spell, because he can only counter 1.
That's fine.
And your opponent's not likely to have a lot of ruinous paths.
So that was why he played the Saheeli, right? It's that he can't get transgressed.
Well, he can negate Transgress, but he loses. He doesn't lose. he can't combo if Shaheen has discard plus removal spell.
Quagmire hits Nahiri down to 6, and then Shaheen plays Grimflare. He's trying to stay afloat here. No combo, no combo. Saheeli will scry, but 3 Planeswalkers for Jace.
I would put basically anything that isn't Felidar Guardian or Glimmer of Genius on the bottom of my deck. I might keep and Anticipate. That would be definitely fine discarding this Wandering Fumarole to draw a card with the Nahiri as well.
Yeah. I wonder if what Chandra's going to do here. Just going to plus, reveal the top card. It's Stasis Snare. Yeah, I'm pretty into casting that one, actually.
It's a good one.
Yeah, you see him move that mana over. Yeah, why not? We'll take a Stasis Snare. Seems great. Is he going to play the land or discard? He's going to play the land and then plus Nahiri. Wants the 6th mana. Fair enough. Says go. Shaheen has to keep activating that Quagmire if he doesn't want to lose.
Yep.
Ruinous Path, though. That is a draw for Shaheen. That's a good one. 7th land, so he can Path and activate Quagmire. You see his hand is looks like one or maybe an Obnixilis, some other black card. I think Mindrak Demon. Ruinous Path, basic forest. He's staying alive in this game, but he's not gaining control of the board at all.
No.
Ruinous Path at Nahiri. This should pick up the negate, and it does. So Jace, empty-handed. So Shaheen, yeah, he'll attack Nahiri down to 6. That's his only play. We go back over to Jace Sweeney, now drawing off the top. Basic planes, I don't think he'll want that one.
Big fan of discarding basic planes in this context and any other context.
He'll scry first, though. Wants to maybe get a better shot at improving that card. See, then so starts by scrying, then uses Chandra's ability, exiles the top card.
It's a mystery.
It's a secret card. All the way off into the top of the screen. We'll figure out what that is in a sec.
It's like a Nahiri.
I don't think he wants another Nahiri. Nahiri will plus. Discards planes, drawing planes. Ugh. Ryan, what is this?
I would keep that in my hand to discard it next turn.
Yeah. He'll say go. You know, for having 3 planeswalkers in play, Jace isn't doing as much as I would think he. There are a lot of trios of planeswalkers that absolutely win. I mean, if you watch Shaheen Soorani play a deck, this is how he wins all his games.
He turns the Healy into any other planeswalker.
Something that, yeah.
Then this game is very firmly. So let's say that Jace controls Jace Unraveler or Secrets.
Yeah.
Then he would probably have a lot of cards in his hand. He wouldn't be threatening the combo kill, but he's certainly just winning the value war.
All right. Shaheen cracks a clue. Cracks a clue. And then he will just concede that one.
Yeah, so Jace had mana up to activate Wandering Fumarole and block the Hissing Quagmire on that turn. So he was presenting the combo there. So that's why Shaheen picked him up.
Yeah, it's... Right, and especially because Shaheen would be tapping out to do it. There's no way Jace wouldn't make that play. So 2 games to 1. It is Jace Sweeney with Jeskai Saheeli